Hey guys, it is September 20th of 2017 and I'm like 5 years and 10 months on testosterone. I wanted to do an update because there are things that I forget to talk about, and then I get on a current experience and then I forget to talk about other things. So real quick, I'm letting my hair grow out. Uh, as you can see, it's really thin on top. Uh, this started within the last 6 months or so. Maybe started before then and I didn't notice it as bad. Um, the crown of my head, I didn't realize was thinning out until I saw a picture of me, the backside of me. And I was like, I told my wife, what the heck? Couldn't you at least tell me that I was thinning out in the crown of my head? She just started laughing. She didn't respond to that. But I've wore a short haircut for like 20 years now, and I just got tired of shaving it on the sides. I do need a haircut now. I'm just going to basically have them layer it all the way through, but I wanted to bring it down long here. Um, I just wanted a change, and I don't know how long I'll keep it, how long I can tolerate the long hair. Short hair is so much easier. Excuse me. So I got it, and that another thing is that by me growing my hair out, if I was to wet my hands and just kind of go like this, my hair would curl up. Now I've had the straightest hair in the family all my life, and my dad has a wavy curl to his. He had curls when he was little, and he had a wave to it, and I was always just straight. And now I just couldn't believe it when I saw it. Now I will try to post a picture here after I do the video. I was unsuccessful last time, so I'm not sure how to do this. I have a new laptop. It's not a real expensive one, but I'm using the camcorder on it, and it goes through Movie Maker, and it allows me to add photos, and I added photos, but when I went back to watch my video, the photos weren't there. So I don't know if I'm doing it right. I'm going to keep trying to do it until I get it right. So in any of my videos, if I say I'm going to post pictures, excuse me, and you don't see pictures at the end of it, I haven't figured out how to do it. So anyway, my hair has really changed. There's another thing too, what's changed in me, and I might have mentioned it at some point in time, but it really bugs me, so I'm going to mention it today. You know how you get wax in your ears and you clean your ears out? Okay, so I do that, and then all of a sudden, no, all of a sudden, my wife is sticking her fingers in my ears, and I'm going, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "You have a flake." I'm like, "What?" I have white flakes that are in my ears now. Um, she read up on it, and white flakes just means you're healthy. There's nothing wrong with it, but that's totally different than I'm used to. Um, I talked about the brown knuckles. See, the where I thought was dirty, people not having good hygiene. No, okay, because I scrub and scrub those knuckles. My knees are doing it too now. When I was growing up, in the church there was a group of young people, excuse me, about 5 years, 3 to 5 years older than me, and the guys always had dirty knees, and always thought it was gross. Well, the one guy I used to think about all the time, about his knees. Uh, he was on his knees a lot because he worked in the grocery store and he stocked and everything. Well, I'm on my knees a lot now at my mom's house because I'm painting. I'm painting baseboards in the bottom of doors. I'm cutting in, the bottom of walls. So I'm on the ground a lot. And the last month or so, my knees have gotten really dark, and I do everything to scrub them. I know that when I mentioned it in the beginning when my knuckles was doing that, some guy responded that the doctor told him it was something, and it was totally normal. So I apologize, even though I'm not going to say who. I don't even know who I thought didn't have good hygiene. It's just whenever I see it, I think that, and I totally apologize for that because yeah, I have it and I have good hygiene, so it is something to do with the male body. But anyway, I was going through my videos and kind of listening on some of the things I've touched bases with, just life things, you know. Uh, and my last video, I said how I'm just learning to live as Ethan, and I am, and that's going to be. I mean, we should always be evolving as humans, and if we're not evolving and we're stuck, then that's where we're going to be, and that's where you find a lot of illness, health issues. That's where you find a lot of mental illness. You know, it's just we each have our own journey, and the decisions and choices we make in our life really affect how we're going to go forward. I must be going to talk about something really heavy because I'm yawning again, and I wasn't yawning prior to the video. It's one of my normal sayings on these videos anymore about me yawning. But I'm going to do a real quick health update with you and let you know where I'm at. Uh, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but I live in the valley in California, and so we are in a dust bowl. And this whole summer has been terrible for my breathing. I developed valley fever, and I don't know the full name of it. It's a cocci something disease, and it's through the spores, and I inhaled it into my right lung. And it took me 1 year on high medications and another year to get my endurance back somewhat. But I really have a hard time in the dust, and with the fires and everything around here and the dust, uh, I've had a hard time really taking deep breaths, and so it has affected me, my sleep, you know, my energy level. So that I've been dealing with, and another thing that I have been dealing with is the realization of comfort eating and understanding, trying to understand why I did it, and I understand it now. I was really stressed and frustrated with my stepdad before he passed away. I was his medical care person, basically. I took him 5 days a week and spent 4 hours a day with him. I had to insert IVs via PICC line for MRSA 3 different times. It was a real hard battle. Did I have to do that? No. But I took that stress off my mom. They would have never, my mom almost had a breakdown as it was during it because he was so self-centered, so self-absorbed. No one's ever gone anything, you know, as bad as he. And he was just draining, emotionally, mentally, physically draining. And I don't know if any of you are in tune to your journey on feeling a positive vibe versus negative vibe around you. But when I have a negative, and I use that as, I call it a cloud. When I'm around a person with a cloud, um, it just swallows all my positivity. It swallows all my energy. And I was with him 5 days a week for 4 hours a day, probably for about 6 months, I think it was. Plus, I was taking him to doctor's visits, so some days were longer than the 4 hours. Plus, I was taking him to, the first time around, taking him to get the medication in his PICC line. They wouldn't let us do it the first time around. So, you know, all that, what I learned was I would come home and I'd be exhausted mentally. I didn't want to cook dinner. I didn't really want to eat. And I wanted some ice cream one time. And I had broke myself from Ben and Jerry's. And I knew I didn't really want to get back to that, so I looked at this gelato because I heard that it was better for you. Well, probably the brand I bought was not better for us, better for me. I bought Briars, something like that. I'll be honest with you, it comes in not quite a half gallon and about 4 different settings, so probably once every 2 weeks. I ate one whole thing at one time. It was just comfort. I wasn't hungry. It was just comfort. It just got my endorphins up. It just made me feel better. Well, yeah, I put on about 17 pounds. I thought I would put on more, but my scale's reading me only 17 pounds heavier. So since my fallow, now this is 2 years, but I mainly gained it in the last year. Uh, the fat has redistributed onto my hips and my butt, and the reason why I know that is when I was toning down from a good diet and cutting out all this simple sugars and flours and stuff, I was losing weight naturally. It wasn't dropping off 20 pounds at a time, but it was dropping off the way it should, and it was taking fat, not muscle. And I could literally feel my battery pack from my spinal cord stimulator in my hip, and it's about this big, and it would stick out about, oh, probably about that much out of my under my skin, and it was actually uncomfortable. When I would lay down, I could feel I didn't have any padding there, so it was uncomfortable at times. But now you just feel where it is. There's nothing sticking out, so the fat has all filled back in, and so I've been struggling to figure out a way. I need to get back to my old self. And I was healthy. I was feeling good. I loved the way life was going for me. And so this week, I decided that I was going to cut out flour again because I've been getting a lot of headaches again. And so I've done good all week, even through the weekend. And today I stopped by the store. Tony and I have been on busy schedules this week, so I said, okay, I'm going to go by and get something to eat for tonight so I can cook it. And when I was there, I was hungry because I had not ate or drank my protein shake. And I picked up a sweet bread of some kind. I don't know what it was, some kind of muffin. And I'm sitting there eating it because I'm hungry, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I just took myself off flour for 4 days, and now I'm eating a muffin. And so, it's just like, don't beat yourself up. Just own up to the mistake and keep going. So that's what I try to do in my life, guys. I am far from perfect. I've got a long ways to go on my own journey in how I want to be on my journey. I was hitting the gym, and then Tony injured her foot, and so with her emotional status right now, she's on a new cancer drug. It's really made her emotional. So I don't go to the gym because it already puts her in tears emotionally that she can't go to the gym once we started again. So I'm kind of just laying low with her. She goes to the doctor today about her foot, and we'll see what he says. So anyway, life just keeps going, This is going to be a kind of a long. I've got a few more things I want to talk about, and I got sidetracked again. One of the things I want to talk about is I've been kind of just thinking. Here I've had phalloplasty, and I'm peeing standing up and have no problems, and I wear UFM underwear, and I have been able to wear my jockey long briefs on the weekends and let my guy hang down over the middle, and it's been okay with the rod, and I was concerned about that. But I've heard other guys talk about, oh man, I need my bottom surgery, and I want to be, it'll make me whole, and it does make you whole. One thing I hope that you guys all stop and think about, if you haven't already, is that We are males inside. But you have to remember something. We will never be biological males. We will have imperfections, but they will be our bodies and they will be our maleness. If you're caught up in comparing yourself to biological men, you're always going to be disappointed. Not in the fact that you can't be as strong as them, not in the fact that you can't be like them. But there's a fine line when you start comparing yourself to biological men. Number one, for me, well, my top doesn't look good for me to go out without a shirt. I only will go without a shirt around Tony, not even my family. Two, even though I love my chest, it's just the scarring and the way this revision didn't go too good for me. Two, my phallo is not, it looks close to a biological male, but it's not a biological male. I'll never have the muscle. I'll never have the, the natural erection. And the thing is that this is me as male. That's my maleness. And I don't compare myself because I already know. No, I'm not biological male. That's my, no. Who said I was ever biological male? But I am male. Challenge me to that. I am all male. And I have accepted all my parts, whether they've been added or cut away. I understand this journey's been unique for a reason. And I may not know my reason now. It may touch other people that I've never met or talked to. But I know I'm here for a reason, and my journey has been unique for a reason. So this is why I keep doing these videos, and this is why I keep sharing some stuff, and sometimes it's off the wall, and sometimes it's right on to stuff, and I'm just going to keep talking to you guys. And, I do a lot of thinking, and I'll share those thoughts, and it doesn't mean you have to agree with me. And it doesn't mean that if I sound really like I'm badgering anybody that you have to come at me and attack me. I'm not badgering anybody. Everybody has their own journey. All I'm saying is if you feel these things, sit back and think about it and accept yourself for who you are. And life will be a lot easier for you. And the frustration and trying to be like other people, just be yourself. Be what God's created. And if you're medically transitioning and physically transitioning, that's what God created. Whatever comes out of that. So anyway, guys, take it one day at a time and always make your journey as simple as possible. We'll talk to you later. Bye.